everybody. We are so delighted to be here this evening. Thank you for joining us. We have put together a programme of music that pays homage to the moon, which, you know, will be along shortly. And we have just had so much fun. For me, there's been a lot of new repertoire, and it's been so fun to explore it with Catherine and to steal some pieces that ordinarily belong on the piano. So sorry to my pianist friends. I'm going to hand you over to Catherine now to introduce things most eloquently, and I will sit behind the harp to make sure it doesn't blow over.
Thank you, Aisling. We will begin with two mélodies, or French art songs, by one of the masters of the mélodie, Gabriel Fauré. Gabriel Fauré wrote over 100 mélodies, and they've been grouped into three periods. And this evening we'll perform one song from the first period, and the second song begins his second period. Fauré was sometimes referred to as the French Schumann, in the sense that they were both masters of this genre in their respective countries. Schumann was of the German Lied and Fauré of the Mélodie. So the first song is Notre Amour, or Our Love, and this poem was written in 1978 by Armand Silvestre, and Fauré set it to music before the poem was even published. The poem Our Love describes a sincere, romantic, and very beautiful love, which is expressed in complete elation by the speaker, who characterizes it as being light, charming, sacred, infinite, and finally eternal.
Notre amour est chose légère, comme les parfums que le vent prend au cime de la fougère, pour qu'on respire en rêvant. Notre amour est chose légère. Notre amour est chose charmante, comme les chansons du matin, où nul regret ne se lamente, où vibre un espoir incertain. Notre amour est chose charmante. Notre amour est chose sacrée, comme les mystères des mots tressaillent la mignorer, où les silences ont des voix. Notre amour est chose sacrée. Notre amour est chose infinie, comme les chemins débouchants, où la mer aux cieux réunis s'endort sous les soleils couchants. Notre amour est chose éternelle, comme tout ce que Dieu vainqueur a touché, tout fait de son aile, comme tout ce qui vit au cœur. Notre amour est chose éternelle.
Thank you. We will continue with our first moon song. This is called Clair de lune, or Moonlight, by Fauré. And this poem was taken from a collection of poems by Paul Verlaine, which he called Fêtes galantes, or gallant parties. And these poems were inspired by some beautiful paintings by the French 18th century painter Jean-Antoine Watteau. This piece is in the form of a minuet, and it has the longest piano and now harp introduction of all of Fauré's mélodies. It compares a person's soul with a landscape of dancers and masqueraders who, although elegantly dressed, have melancholic expressions on their faces. Thank you. We will now move over to one of the other masters of the French melody, and we will sing two pieces by Claude Debussy. Debussy had his own style of composition, and his melody were very distinctive. And whereas Fauré might have set the mood of a poem, Debussy would have set every single phrase. He was adamant that the poem be very well reflected in the music. This is one of his most beautiful melody, in my opinion. It's called Beau, Soir, or Beautiful Evening, just like we have today. And it is the setting of a poem by Paul Bourget, who wrote this poem in 1881 whilst on a trip to Ireland and Scotland. The poem describes a beautiful landscape at dusk, which inspires the speaker to remind us to seize the day, as we will inevitably go to the tomb just as the waves will go back to the sea.
Lorsqu'au soleil couchant, les rivières sont roses et que tièdes frissons courent sur les champs de blé. Un conseil d'être heureux semble sortir des choses et monter vers le cœur troublé. Un conseil de goûter le charme d'être au monde, cependant qu'on est jeune et que le soir est beau. Car nous nous en allons.
was, of course, Clair de Lune, a piece that I have never played before, and this program was the perfect opportunity for me to learn for this evening. It's always it's just a piece that I think, certainly for me, brings out all the sentimentality, and certainly after the last sort of year or so that we have had, it really makes me think about kind of loved ones near and far. So that's always where my head goes. Now the sequels, we're having a bit of a duet as well, so that was, of course, Debussy's his musical inspiration behind the same Verlaine poem that Fauré had covered. So back I go.
So now we will move over to Italy, and we will perform 3 ariette, or mini songs, by Vincenzo Bellini. Bellini was most well known for his operas, but he wrote some absolutely gorgeous mini songs as part of a collection of his Composizioni da Camera, or chamber music compositions. They're all really beautiful. We've really enjoyed working on them, and they all have a theme of, you guessed it, unrequited love. So we will begin with Vaga Luna, or Beautiful Moon, and the song is the setting of an anonymous poem whereby the speaker asks the lovely silvery moon to share his declaration of love with his beloved.
Mi conforta nell'amor.
The second ariete is Malinconia, Ninfa gentile, or Melancholy, Gentle Nymph. This is a dramatic song written in Old Italian by Ippolito Pindemonte, and it can be translated as follows. Melancholy, gentle nymph, I dedicate my life to you. Whoever is afraid of your pleasures is not born of true pleasures. Fountains and hills I asked of the gods, and they heard me at last. I will live satisfied. My desires will never go beyond that fountain nor that mountain.
Malinconia, ninfa gentile, la vita mia consacrate, i tuoi piaceri che ti riavville, ai piacer veri nato non è, fonti e colline, chiesi agli dei, modirò il bene, pago io vivrò. Ne mai quel fonte co desir miei, ne mai quel monte trapasserò, ne mai co desir miei trapasserò, ne mai trapasserò, ne mai trapasserò, no, mai.
And our third ariete is very, very beautiful and very sincere. It's Ma rendi pur contento, or Only Make Her Happy. And the poem is by Pietro Metastasio, in which the speaker addresses the god of love, Amour, by saying, if only you make her happy, I forgive you, Amour, if you make me unhappy. I fear her griefs more than my own, because I live more in her than I do in myself.
next piece is another solo harp piece, and it is the only piece in this evening's program that was originally written for the harp. So it's the only piece of music that I haven't stolen from another instrument. This piece is called Au Matin. It's an Etude de Concert by Marcel Tournier, who was the professor of harp in the Paris Conservatoire from 1912 right up until his death in 1951. The story goes behind this particular piece that he dedicated it to a lady called Mademoiselle Renée Benda, and that he gave her the manuscript of this when he went to fight in World War I and said, please keep it safe, and if I don't return, please make sure that it gets published. Thankfully for the harp world and for all of us, Marcel Tournier did return from World War I and went on to compose dozens of incredibly beautiful pieces for the harp. And very often he would compose and dedicate a piece to a student or a harpist whose playing he admired. And all of his pieces are just so unique and characterful in his compositional style. So he really brought out amazing things in the pedal harp at a time when it was just a pup of a thing, really, at the early part of the 20th century. So this is Au Matin by Marcel Tournier.
And now we will head over to Germany for some Lieder, or the German song genre, and we will be singing some Richard Strauss. So Strauss was also well known for his operas, but he wrote some absolutely beautiful Lieder, and I think the ones we're singing tonight are amongst the most beautiful, especially the first one, Morgen, or Tomorrow. I think the first time I heard this, I played it about 20 times on repeat. I thought it was so exquisite. And you're in luck because it sounds absolutely gorgeous on the harp with Aisling playing. Strauss wrote this when he was 28 years old as a wedding gift to his wife. The poem is written by John Henry Mackay. He was a German-Scottish poet. And it refers to the hope of two lovers that tomorrow morning will unite them, and they will blissfully lose themselves in each other's eyes. Thank you. And Our second lead by Strauss is Die Nacht, or The Night, and this poem, written by Hermann von Gilm, describes how the night steals beauty and light from the woods and from the town, and the speaker is afraid that it might also steal his beloved.
Aus dem Walde tritt die Nacht, aus den Bäumen schleicht sie leise, schaut sich in weitem Kreise, nun gib Acht. Alle Lichter dieser Welt, alle Blumen, alle Farben löscht sie aus und stiehlt die Garben weg vom Feld. Alle nimmt sie, was nur holt, nimmt das Silber weg des Strohs, nimmt vom Kupfer noch des Stabs weg das Gold. Ausgeplündert steht der Strauch, rücke näher, Seele an Seele. O die Nacht mir backt, sie stellt dich
So we've reached the end of our recital. Thank you all again for coming out. An enormous thanks to Mary Barnett for having us. In 2021, so special. First time a dandelion clock. Yeah, absolutely. I think an enormous round of applause must go to Mary and to the Hugh Lane and also to IMMA for making these happen, because it's just been, we've been sort of dreaming of today for so long now, so it's gorgeous. First time a dandelion clock flew into the strings. Well, it was a first is a first. Let's see what else. First phone ring. Person for the phone ring. I had a moment where I was like, it was a beautiful moment. We're back. So we're officially back into live gigs now. So thank you. Loads of firsts. Anyway, this is why I generally the mic gets moved away from where I'm speaking. But just an enormous thank you again. And here is I Dreamt I Dwelt in Marble Halls, and then we'll let you go home.
serfs at my side, and of all who assembled in those walls, that I was the hope and the pride. I had riches too great to count, could boast of a high ancestral name, but I also dreamt, which pleased me most, that you loved me still the same, that you loved me still the same, that you loved me still the same. I dreamt that suitors sought my hand, that knights upon bended knee, and with vows no maiden heart could withstand, they pledged their faith to me. And I dreamt that one of that noble host came forth my hand to claim, but I also dreamt, which charmed